stand for the pledge. I pledge
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and we will start with administering the oath of office. We have a special guest, Honorable Judge Anderson, with us today. If the three gentlemen taking the office could stand there, please.
You can stand right there. And I will read the oath once, but when I come to name the names, I'll read each of your three names and then continue with the oath. So first of all, I, Mike Lemire, I, Randy Wincher, and I, Jeff Walensky. You raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Minnesota, and that you will faithfully execute the duties and offices of Morrison County Commissioner in the County of Morrison, according to the law and to the best of your ability and understanding? If so, say I will.
I will.
All right, congratulations, you were officially sworn in. Welcome to public service, back to public service. Public service, and Jeff, you're not leaving public service.
Thank you. No, I'm not leaving.
All right, I will sign the official documents here.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Randy. Thank you. And Mike, congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Okay, next sheet of sheet music. We're ready to go.
I will finish those up when we're done and get it done.
Well, that's what they signed.
Yep, I think so.
Okay, so, well, they can sign as well. So,
Yes.
sign
Right.
them.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Anderson.
very much,
You're
Judge.
welcome.
Appreciate
Happy
it a
New
lot.
Year.
Thank you.
I'd see you in 2 years, but
All right, the first order of business that we have today is the election of the board chair for 2017. I'd ask at this time for nominations for board chair for 2017.
I nominate Mike Wilson.
I second that.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for board chair for 2017? I will ask one more time. Are there any other nominations for board chair for 2017? Hearing none, I will close nomination and we will cast a unanimous ballot for chairman for 2017 for Mike Wilson. If I could have a motion.
I'd so move.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
Hope I can do
Congratulations,
as good
Mr.
as the
Chair.
last one.
There you
Bear
go.
with me today,
You gotta
please.
do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And I have one other item of business, and that would be for the election of vice chair for 2017. Are there any nominations for Morrison County Vice Chair for 2017?
I nominate Dwayne Johnson.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for Vice Chair for 2017? Any other nominations for Vice Chair for 2017? Hearing none, I will close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Dwayne Johnson for Vice Chair. If I could have a motion now
So moved.
and a second now.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr.
Congratulations,
Vice
Dwayne.
Chair. And now, Mr. Chair, I'll
Congratulations.
turn it over to you. My moment of glory for the year is done. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, we need approval of the county board minutes.
So, I would so move, Mr. Chair.
Got a motion by,
Second.
second,
Got 'em both?
Jelinski, thank you.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, is there any discussion? I'm sorry. If there's any discussion, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Not at this time.
Okay,
So moved.
second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next bid for legal printing. Have that in your packet.
We have here
about this at all, Deb?
Yep, I'm going to just
Okay.
grab it and get it on the screen here.
Otherwise, I'd have had it approved before you said anything.
No, this is on an annual basis, we go out for bid for the resolutions, and I'm just trying to find where is that?
I think you're up too high, according to on mine.
This is what she's doing.
Mine's right after vice
Yep,
chair.
right there.
Yep.
That's citizens.
Page 8.
All right, and at this time, I will open that. We received one
That's citizens.
response from the Morrison County Record. And this then, is the official paper that we then advertise for all of our legal requirements. The response from the Record has a line rate of 87 cents per line and $7.30 per column inch. Last year was a per line item of 85 cents and a display ad rate of $7.15 per column inch. So it did go up by 2 cents per line and 15 cents per column inch. It is the only bid we did receive, so I would recommend that we accept that and make a motion to approve that resolution.
Can I get a motion to accept the resolution?
I would so move on it, Mr.
Motion
Chairman.
by Johnson, seconded
I'll second.
by Wincher. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'm just wondering, and maybe Ms. Gruber can answer, is do we ever get a bid from anyone else?
No, we did not, that I've ever had.
Just the way it is, and if we don't accept that bid, we what?
We wouldn't have one to meet
Just-
the legal requirements that we have.
That's what I wanted to hear. We need to have that to meet the legal requirements that
We have to
that
print
are
it. I
set
haven't,
forth.
we have not sought out any other publication, just because I think it's, you know, the readership of your constituent base is high with Morrison County Records, so
Yeah.
it certainly makes
Okay,
sense.
no,
So
just wanted to know.
that's not been something I've ever been directed to do.
Very good.
Makes sense.
Very good, thank you.
Before we do social services, so the administrator, RBAs are next. You wanna go through all of their names? Yep, we can.
Oh, yeah, we have a motion and a second, right? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, you wanna go through all the,
Not social services next, yep, it's all resolutions.
you're doing all the administrative?
Yep, we have a bunch of clean, or kind of first of the year items that we'll take care of at this point in time. There are a number of annual resolutions that we go through at the beginning of a year, kind of business as usual. We have a travel policy that we approve, and I'll ask for these all in one action item. The travel policy identifies the travel out of state that may occur during a year, and that we would approve that as necessary and for the business of the county. There's a resolution that identifies the committee per diems. Those remain the same as it was last year, which is $50 for all of the different citizen committee appointed meetings that you have. We have a code of conduct for the Morrison County Board. This is-
Excuse me for
Yep.
1 second, Ms. Gruber, they're not all $50.
They are, that we passed out a new resolution. The one in your board packet was an old one, and they are.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
good question. good.
Got it?
The code of conduct for the Morrison County Commissioners, we have before you, that kind of really solidifies and outlines in black and white the behavior that you as a board exhibit on a very regular basis regarding being respectful and kind of setting, for example, all of us that work here at this organization.
Sets the tone.
Yes. We have a resolution for public meeting notices. This identifies our process as required by law and as we follow for public notices, so people are aware of what and when you're doing, what you're doing, so they can follow along. We have the annual resolution for the setting of the row offices for their salaries. They follow the classification and compensation system that all other employees follow, and that's where they would move to in 2017. We have the county board mileage reimbursement policy that outlines you as a board, the process or the approval for your mileage reimbursements for 2017. And then we have the 2017 citizen appointment committees, or the citizen committee appointments. These may get updated throughout the year as terms expire, but at this point in time, we kind of redo it, so to speak, so it's current and fresh. And that's what I have for you at this time.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the appointments?
So moved.
Motion by Jelinski, second,
I'll second.
by Wincher.
And Mr. Chair, that would be the approval for the travel policy, the committee meeting attendance payment for citizens, the code of conduct, the public meeting notices, elected official salaries, mileage reimbursement, and citizen committee appointments.
Thank you.
And that was my motion for all of that.
Yep, got a motion and second. Is there any discussion?
Chairman Wilson, I just like, when we had the $50, I believe maybe it was last year too, because some of the committees were less, and we voted to keep everything at the same level to make it fair for all.
Yep, and that's the new resolution, that old one
Right.
got snuck in there, but yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mr. Chair, one of them was 40 or something, right? And we just moved them all
It's
up.
changed.
Yeah, so they're all the same, exactly, thank you.
Perfect.
I have a question on code of conduct that we're signing. When I read through that, I understand what it says, but what's the penalty?
You know,
I mean, you know,
there isn't. This is something that the board started a number of years ago, actually, as just a reminder on an annual basis, the significance of the role that you have as a board, and really puts in writing that expectation of conduct, and expectation of how you're going to behave, and how the rest of the organization ought to be following in your footsteps. So you police yourselves and each other. That is certainly the case. That's a good question, but it does just kind of solidify what it is that you exhibit on a regular basis.
okay, thank you. All right, any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and then the other kind of cleanup or annual business is the county board committee appointments. We have a list in front of you, and wanted to kind of go through that. I updated the one in front of you as best as possible based on some discussion we've had previously, but need to know for sure where it is you want to start the year out at. Also keep in mind, this is not set in stone. Another vote will change this if circumstances change as we move forward throughout the year. But as of this time, we have all of the commissioner committees listed as the obvious board of commissioners meeting, the planning sessions, governmental agency meetings, county board training sessions, outside association meetings, department head committee, community health services board of health, AMC delegation, budget committee, TSWAC, which is our landfill, Morrison County Recreational Trails Committee, Morrison County Public Safety Committee. Meeting with area legislators is certainly, as a commissioner, a responsibility that you have. Planning commission meetings. ACUB is something is that on hold now, or should I list that?
It's pretty much on hold.
Okay.
They're reorganizing, and I have no idea where it's
Is
going.
there a
right now.
chance that it may continue on? Is funding?
I'm thinking they've redone some different things with it, so I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
totally
maybe
out of
we'll
it.
list it for now. It certainly doesn't hurt to have it listed just in case.
Yeah.
Morrison County Water Plan Committee, again, that one's one that's not incredibly active, but still meets from time to time. Stand Up For You and PAC. And then I have committees listed here, and I think there's discussion.
If I may, Mr.
for-
Chair, PAC, what does that stand for?
At PAC, the Piers Area Coalition, again, not incredibly active, but still something that is attended from time to time.
Mr. Chair, does Board of Adjustments get put on there? I'm kinda lost on that one, because that's one that we can go to.
Yes.
Can go to, but we're like the planning commission, we're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
But the Board of Adjustment, I know just my personal feeling, I go when there's something in my district.
Yeah.
Not saying that's right, but that's what I do.
It wouldn't be, it's a committee appointed by the board, but your role in that is an observation, not an active
Yep,
participation.
gotcha.
Yep.
Very good.
Okay, how do we want to proceed with each of these committees?
If you wanna let me know, we did have some discussion previously about that, but wanna let me know what changes you'd like to see on the list that we have in front of us, and that will become our official list that we'll then approve.
Mr. Chair?
Yep, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, what on my list, I've taken in Community Corrections Executive Board, that no longer exists, so I scratched that. So I was gonna take the Mississippi Headwaters Board off Commissioner Lemire's. Headwaters Board, and I'm an alternate on the EMS Regulatory Board, and I'm down, I think, as alternate on Council on Aging. Council on Aging, you know, there might be a couple times when I could make it, But I have a South Country meeting the same day. That's why I pulled out of that one in the last year. So, whatever, there is a couple of them though that I could make, and I'm down right now, I think, Council on Aging, if I'm an alternate or whatever, but I can't do the normal one.
Okay, so as an alternate on Council on Aging, we can put you there.
Okay.
And Mississippi Headwaters Board, I think, is one that, we had talked at a planning session, that would be one that would work,
Yes.
and I think Commissioner
Yes.
Lemire, you were okay with
Yeah.
that, all right. And then, if I could just ask a quick question,
Yep.
Council on Aging, is that something you would like to stay on as the active member?
When do they meet?
They meet about 4 times a year.
Right.
It's during the day. And I'd be alternate, like I say, there's a couple that I could make, but the majority of the time I'm at South Country.
Do you know what days those are on?
They're on a Thursday.
Thursday. Mike, if you'd like me to take it, I would, if it's during the day.
If you want it.
No problem. Okay, I'll take Council of Aging.
And then Commissioner Johnson, leave you as alternate for that,
Yep.
Yep.
okay.
You're gonna take the RDFA?
Yep, and I would like to take RDFA. Mike had that one, I think. Minnesota Rural is needed. If you don't have no objections to that. You took the Mississippi Headwaters, right,
Right,
from mine?
yep.
And
Where's-
then somebody
where's
would be
RDFA
the
at?
It's on,
alternate
it's
though
on
for
Mike
Mississippi.
Lemire's.
It's on Mike's.
It is on Mike. We
Rural
crossed it
Counties
out.
Cop.
Yep.
No, wait.
Our Minnesota Rural Development.
Oh, no, up above, I'm sorry. MC Rural Development Finance Authority.
Got it.
Where are you at?
And,
here.
and Mike's not, that's not gonna go under Mike's? That's gonna go under,
And-
I'm
and
gonna
yours?
take that one, yep.
Yep.
Right now, we need an alternate for Mississippi Headwaters, because Commissioner Johnson is going to be the
Yep.
member. So if somebody's interested in
Was the
that.
alternate.
And that is, that's what days again?
The third Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning in Walker.
Okay. Does anybody want that? If they don't, I'll take it as an alternate. Okay, I'll take that one as an alternate, the Headwaters.
Okay.
Dwayne, would you want me to take that Council on Aging alternate from you?
Yeah, would you, if you'd like to, you're welcome.
Well, I need an actual member and an alternate,
Right.
so.
wait, the
um,
actual
Mike
member
will
is
be
Mike
He's the actual
Wilson.
Oh,
member.
Mike will be
Yeah,
the,
I'll
oh, I'm
be
So,
sorry.
the-
yeah,
I'll
if
be
you
the
would like to
member.
take that, that'd be great. Because, I mean, it might work once in a while, but that'd be good. Alternate.
Perfect, thank you.
Mike, is there any other ones that, I guess that what I have is, I have a TCC, which I'm okay to stay on, but that's at 5 o'clock. Is there any other ones that you would want to switch for? Or are you okay with these other ones that you have?
I'm okay.
Okay,
Unless there's one you want, I'll take
No.
that TCC from you if you want me to. I think it would help you out.
well, I don't have a problem with keeping TCC, but if you
Oh.
wanted to get rid of one of these that were at noon or something like that, I'd be happy to change with you, and if you
want
don't,
it-
and if you don't, I'm okay with that, if the schedule fits for you.
Okay. Unless you wanna do the airport, and I'll do your TCC.
I would do that, if that would help you out.
I'm just listening.
What's that?
I'm just listening.
No, yeah, you want me to take the airport, Mike?
Sure.
Okay, I'll take the airport, and then
Okay.
you'll take TCC?
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like I should be auctioning.
Well, we're just trying to help
I
everybody's
know, I'm
schedule
Yeah.
so that they fit
And-
for people that can make it, because it is important to be at
Yes,
these
it
meetings.
is.
And-
Yes, I
and Mr.
appreciate the
Chair?
discussion.
And when we get these done today,
You're gonna give us a
Monthly.
copy of that.
Absolutely, we will.
if there's still a problem, we can still, at a meeting, we can, do some more.
Absolutely, we can change any time if something's
Yeah.
not working. Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Jelinski, are you okay with all of your stuff on here, or?
I'm fine.
Okay. Mr. Wincher?
Well, no, we have to appoint somebody to the planning commission because my 4-year term went up, so we need somebody The changes we made as a county board, Mr. Chair, is that you will sit on there not as a voter, but as just someone that asked the question. So again, I would not be able to do that.
Okay,
So
we would-
planning commission ex officio member.
Yep. And again, that's something that we already go to, it's just that we need somebody to sit at the table.
Yes, thank you.
would anybody like to sit on that? If not, I'll be glad to sit on that.
That would be fine with me.
Okay.
All right. Mike Wilson is the winner.
And we also would need an alternate at this time too.
I can take that.
Mike Wilson?
No,
I mean,
Michael
Lemire.
Two mics here now.
Yes.
If it's bad, you call him. If it's good, you call me.
Randy, on yours, you have alternate Great River Regional Library.
Right, yeah, I'm gonna, as soon as we get to Commissioner
Oh.
Zelinski, yeah, so, so moving
I'm done.
down.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Mr.
I'm
Jelinski's
fine.
done, he's
So
fine.
anyway, I was currently on the board as, not as an alternate on Great River, and you had Mike Lemire as the, library board member. So, say I sat on there for 2 years, I don't know if there's a miscommunication here. Mike, if you, wanna take the Great River as a board, and I can be the alternate, or, again, that's what it meets, usually it meets, they have the finance at 5 on, Wednesdays, and once a month, so.
In St. Cloud.
In St. Cloud, yeah.
Because I was the alternate,
He was
and
the
I would just
alternate,
soon
so-
get out of that.
Okay.
With-
If
Between
you
you
wanna
two.
take it, and I'll be the alternate, if that works for you. I mean, if that's what you want.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So Commissioner Wincher will be the Great River Regional Library rep, and Commissioner Lemire will be the alternate on the Great River Regional Library.
Just a little water. And then I am, so I think it looked pretty much everything. So, so we just swapping that out, Mike and I are doing the swap on the Great River Regional Library, and then I'm good to go.
Okay, Mike, are you okay with everything you
Yep.
got left? Okay. So
All
now,
right.
now do I get a motion to accept the committees?
Yes, with the changes that we understood to be the case, and I'm just gonna highlight for a second if you don't
Okay.
mind. Commissioner Lemire will be on TCC, will be an alternate for the Great River Regional Library, will be the Little Falls Chamber of Commerce representative, will be on the Morrison County Public Health Advisory Committee, will be on the SHIP Leadership Committee, will be appointed to the AMC Environmental and Natural Resources Policy Committee, will be the representative on HRA, will be the representative for Minnesota Rural Counties Caucus, will be the alternate for Central Minnesota EMS, and will be the alternate for Council on Aging. Correct? And the alternate for the Planning Commission.
Yep.
And alternate for the
Great River
library.
Regional Library.
Oh, did I miss that?
Nope,
I thought-
she said
okay.
that.
Oh, she did, okay,
Yep,
okay.
She said it up top.
Okay. Other than those, correct?
So,
Commissioner Jelinski, I did not have any changes from the list that was provided,
I
correct?
believe that's correct.
Okay. Commissioner Wincher, the only change is the Great River Regional Library representative
And the Planning Commission.
and the planning, and then
Planning Commission.
to take off. the
Take
remove.
off,
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner Wilson will be the Community Development Board. Will remove the TCC. It will be the Community Health Services Exec Committee, the Benton County Watershed District, AMC Policy Transportation Committee, the Benefits Committee, an alternate for South Country Health Alliance, will be the Minnesota Rural Development Authority member, will be an alternate for MHB, and will be the Planning Commission ex officio. Correct?
So,
And the Airport Commission,
Council on Aging.
okay,
and the
Airport
Council
Commission.
on Aging.
Correct.
Okay. And then Commissioner Johnson, South Country Health Alliance, we remove the Community Corrections Exec Committee. You'll be on the Community Development Board, continue with the Region 5 Development Commission, be on the Yellow Ribbon Committee, continue with the Community Health Services Executive Committee, the Community Corrections Advisory Board, continue on the Drug Court Steering Committee, will be on the AMC Policy, Health and Human Service will be in the Morrison County Rural Development Finance Authority, will be a Mississippi Headwaters Board member, and an alternate for the EMS Regulatory Board. Correct?
Perfect.
All right, sounds good. So yes, approval of that list, Mr. Chair.
Okay, could I get a motion to accept?
I would so move on that, Mr. Chair.
Got a motion by Commissioner Johnson,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Lemire. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right, Mr. Chair, we already did the legal bid, and we are going to move to social services if you're okay with that.
Social service, okay, Brad? Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, welcome, Mike, Happy New Year.
Good morning, Brad, happy New Year.
Well, since it is the first of the year and we're all getting somewhat organized, as you might know, the legislature begins their session today. Sounds like it could be quite a robust session, and just as a refresher too, this is the biennial funding year, so they will be funding all of the programs for the next 2 years. So what I want to do today is share just a little bit about what our county administrators are suggesting as initiatives as well as our priorities. And this is our directors group across all 87 counties. And we are also a member of AMC, so we're under AMC as an organization as well. So the first 2 pages are just the initiatives which we will be paying attention to during the legislative session and at least have a position on. So we lay this out really in 3 areas around administrative simplification, investments in technology, and aligning resources with expected outcomes. So really, administrative simplification is creating more streamlined activities around especially the financial assistance unit. As you might remember, there are 21 different medical assistance programs that we manage with a lot of variables. And so just trying to get the legislature to create some easier methods by which we can determine eligibility. We're also looking at some activities under child support around paternity and some administrative processes and automating some child support activities. Under investments in technology, again, the MET system, which sometimes is referred to as MNsure, really trying to invest in our MET system. I know a lot of times when they talk about MNsure and discontinuing MNsure, really MNsure is a computer program that allows us to determine eligibility both within our programs, but as well as in the private marketplace. So if they get rid of MNsure, it will be a challenge for County Human Services because that's really the platform now by which we are using for medical assistance. They're moving child support in. So there is a difference between MNsure, the health insurance challenges, and MNsure, the computer program. And so really trying to get the legislature to invest in technology and continuing the MET system to allow us to have that system available under medical assistance as well as a new technology for continuing the new technology within human services.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a quick question? The technology with DHS and connecting with county government has been a challenge. So this all really tries to prioritize that effort, right?
Correct. It's prioritizing the effort, and it's also, METs would be used across all of human services. Currently, we have about a half a dozen computer programs, PRISM, MMIS, Maxis, SSIS, just a variety of technologies that don't really talk to each other. So by integrating our technology across the system, counties will know that if somebody's getting medical assistance, they might be involved in the child welfare area. So it's really integrating those technology systems so we can better serve our customers.
And duplication of efforts may be less prevalent is
Yes.
really kind of what the issue
Well, Mr. Chair, Brad, didn't we, a couple years ago, start working on something like this to communicate with public health and social services under one computer program, if you will?
No.
Kind of? We
There's-
talk about it?
There's been electronic medical record
Maybe that's what.
advancements
is
that
that
we
what I'm
made with
thinking of?
South Country Health Alliance, maybe
Okay.
that's what you're thinking of. But there really is work that could be done to really improve efficiencies in the social
Well, I thought that
services
with
DHS.
MNsure or something like that, to tie it in with public health and social services, so there wasn't the
Min
duplication
choices
of.
maybe?
Many choices.
Minnesota Choices is
Maybe
a
that's what it was?
assessment tool that both Public
Maybe.
Health and Human Services uses.
Okay, maybe that's it.
It does, and as a process that has evolved with that allows some of Public Health to have access to SSIS.
Okay.
But it really doesn't integrate Public Health and Social Services around technology.
Very good, thank you.
Where the METS system, if they invested in that, would then over about a 5-year time frame, would then integrate all of our technology across Human Services, which then, as we continue that growth, could include Public Health. But right now, that's just looking at Human Services.
Okay, thank you.
And then the last one was aligning resources with expected outcomes. And really, the big one is the Health and Human Services finance redesign. We have been, I think, over the last 10 years, DHS and the legislature have continually put some extra challenges with property tax, using property taxes in the Health and Human Services world. And really, instead of focusing on child protection or mental health or little pots of dollars, is there a way to look at completely redesigning Human Services to reduce the impact on property tax owners and look at it from a more of a statewide formula that's fair? There are some differences between counties in terms of how services are delivered, just because it's, some of these things are bared by the property tax owner. So, comprehensive mental health improvements, again, this has been a big topic as well, is around the cost shares for CBHHs and ANOCA, and trying to take a better look at our mental health system and how can we improve that. Fully funding the child protection task force recommendations, and this one specifically around caseload ratios. Given the change in the dynamics of the legislature now that they are Republican controlled and the governor manages the House, or the governor's office, we'll see what priorities there will happen at the state. There probably will be a shift in priorities, but as we know, Representative Krisha has been very involved in the Child Protection Task Force, and he continues to indicate that we're gonna move forward on the governor's task force recommendations. One of the primary recommendations I think that they're gonna be looking at is caseload ratios, 1 to 10 for staff and 1 to 8 for supervisors. This could have a significant fiscal impact for counties. And so if they do look at that, would they then, would funding follow that formula dependent upon where caseloads are at? So that's one that we'd like to keep our eye on. Funding for childcare in the foster care system. This is, when we moved to North Star, there's been an impact to foster parents in terms of the reimbursements, and so we're trying to move childcare assistance to kids in foster care 0 to 5 instead of having it based on the foster care rates. Regulating rehoming of adopted children. We have not had a huge impact on that, but there are some areas of the state where a child may be adopted by or placed in a family for adoption. It falls apart. That adoption agency just quickly finds another home for them. Might not be the right fit. Trying to regulate that a little bit more. Again, another task force recommendation from the Child Protection Task Force is just maintaining the role and authority of law enforcement to remove children from their homes and not placing that burden on social workers. Doing something with basic sliding fee to increase the access to basic sliding fee. And again, this is really a foundational program to get low-income parents jobs. Transportation, I think, will be a huge issue in this legislative session, not only in terms of roads, but I think around children in foster care, public transit, just transportation in general has been challenging for schools, counties, human service agencies. And then what's really exciting is the text for life. That has slowly gone statewide, so we're looking to finish it up. I think they're in about 50 counties right now, and so just trying to expand that. They, I think, catch our northeastern corner of our county, but really increasing that. So then this last page is really what our priorities are. which is the Health and Human Services Finance Reform, improving the access to METs and increasing the resources paid to METs, and reforming the Regional Treatment Center and Community Behavioral Health Hospital cost shares. And it's not just about cost, it's also about access. Two of the primary AMC positions are mental health in the jails and humans or METs financing. So they do align, but I think in terms of the behavioral health hospital cost shares, it isn't just about us paying for those people who are ready to be discharged, but I also think about increasing access, removing folks from jails so they're not having to stay in jail if they're having a mental health concern, just improving our mental health system in general to have better access for individuals needing that, so.
And Mr. Chair, I think that jail mental health situation is high on the priority list for the Sheriff's Association as well regarding that issue is a tremendous one across the state, just really placing people where they belong, instead of where the only option is. Right now, sometimes in our local jails increasing that cost and really not getting to the core issue.
Yeah. We have been fortunate, we have had Northern Pines in the jail providing services to the inmates, but still it is not where a person experiencing mental health concerns should be, even if we have mental health resources there. And unfortunately, they're there because there's not access to a behavioral health hospital or a regional treatment center to serve them, and so it's been a challenge. So, as I said, the legislative session begins today. We'll see when things happen. Will it be the last week again, or will it transpire over the course of the legislative session? But I think there's a lot to pay attention to, especially since it's the 2-year funding cycle for our agency as well as most of county services, so.
Brad, on that one, increasing access of funding for basic sliding fees, is that where people can possibly make more money and still keep their benefits? Or is it raising the income and then they lose their benefits or whatever?
This particular initiative is about those that are making a certain level of income and employed full-time but cannot afford to pay childcare. So this may be the only service that they're receiving so that they can remain employed full-time. So we also have childcare assistance in the MFIP world, so that we have what's called transitional childcare. So if you're on MFIP, you get a full-time job, but you can't afford childcare, we will pay your childcare, you can maintain your benefits, and then after 1 year, they would move over to this basic sliding fee program. So there's 2 different childcare programs available. One for those on receiving MFIP, and those that are not receiving any other benefits but childcare assistance.
Okay, thank you. This isn't an action item, is it?
No,
Nope,
this is a.
nope, this is
Anybody
just
have any
informational.
questions, Jip?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to comment on 2 things. First of all, the mental health in jails. I think, I'm not positive, but through AMC, my Public Safety Committee, I think that it's Mankato, Blue Earth, I'm not sure. I think it's Mankato and maybe Chaska has some grant going on with mental health in the jail. A pilot program that they're working on that truly sounded very interesting. And then my next thing, Brad, that I wanted to ask was, who really is the voice for everything that you talked about? I mean, it's county boards today, obviously, but is it AMC and county social service administrators, the legislature? Is it everyone? But who's doing the talking down there?
Good question, yes. Actually, MAXA has their own lobbyist, part of AMC. AMC has a lobbyist. And what I would say is that between Hennepin Ramsey, AMC, MAXA, the local public health association, have quite a good group of lobbyists that work well together, who are down there being the voice for us, for counties, for public health, in terms of what we are looking at and may need to help serve our residents better. So, and again, each of you sit on an AMC policy committee where a lot of these things are developed. Dwayne, I think you're on the Health and Human Services, where those 2 priorities, the mental health in the jails and the METS financing were the priorities as a part of the AMC platform. Then MAXA has its own platform. Again, it aligns a little bit with AMC, and AMC works with us. We vet all these things through AMC as well, to make sure we're aligned with them and not, going off on our own too much. But in the human service world, we have a lot of different programs that both either are fully funded, partly funded on the backs of taxpayers, trying to just make sure that services across the state are fair and equitable as a part of this platform.
Very good, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? If not, Brad, could you explain to me, maybe my misunderstanding completely on, when people get assistance, they must have to qualify under a certain thing, wages and so forth.
Correct.
And then when you hit that scale, do you lose everything if you go over that? I mean, you hear people saying, I can't afford to go to work because I can't make enough for the benefits that I'm getting. Is there a sliding scale, like, I'm trying to think, if somebody went to work for $12 an hour, maybe you only take $5 an hour away from them on the assistance program. Is that in existence? Is that not in existence, or?
It is not a sliding fee scale for public assistance. So there is, however, transitional years for individuals receiving financial assistance. So there are, under the MFIP program, and I will not speak to specifics because I don't know specifics, but there are transitional years that allow folks to keep part of their benefits while they're working as they move away from financial assistance. So, and again, just to reiterate that that's the smallest part of the activities that we do. I think we have about 150, 160 individuals on MFIP, which really is those individuals who are not working and receiving public assistance. Most everybody else is working in some way, shape, or form. The other thing with public assistance is that if you come in and apply today because you lost your job or you don't have a job, you don't actually get on MFIP right away. You go on what's called diversionary work program. So you would move to that for 3 to 3 months, and hopefully that would then divert you from public assistance totally, if you're successful in getting a job. So, but kind of to the heart of your question, there is no sliding fee scale. So if I make $10, I get this much. If I make 12, I get this much. It's really an all or nothing in terms of public assistance, and only under financial assistance.
And Mr. Chair, like Brad said, that is a very small component of any type of benefits that go out. I mean, you said, 150 people in the 33,000 that live in Morrison County are on that, whereas the number of folks getting some type of medical benefits or nursing home care is far greater than that, and the cost is far greater. So it's where we tend to think and go to right away, but it really isn't driving the cost of social care and social programs.
Under South Country, we have about 5,000 individuals about in South Country Health Alliance, between, receiving medical assistance, long-term care, MSHO, Minnesota Senior Health Option, those kinds of programs.
If I may, Mr. Chair, and Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, most of this is for senior care.
The disabled or seniors, yeah.
People realize, well, here's a young guy, young woman out there, they're very, they just don't have that many out there. It's mostly, like you said, the disability and the senior care.
It's taking care of my parents,
Exactly.
your parents, your disabled child, your disabled sibling.
I guess I agree with that. I just, I know there's only 160, but across the state of Minnesota, it's a lot of people. And it just seems like they're right when they say, I can't go to work for $10 an hour.
Yep.
Because there isn't a sliding scale, and there's a lot of jobs that are open for that it'd be nice if they could better themselves and not still lose all their benefits.
Yeah.
But I know that has nothing to do with you.
Well, and I think, again, I think the other challenge is childcare.
Yeah.
Childcare is a challenge, both in terms of cost as well as access. That really impacts a person's ability to work as well.
Or there could be other issues
Yeah.
going on in their situation too, but it's a good point.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anybody have any other questions?
Thank you, have a good day.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, next we'll go to Land Services report. Amy?
Morning, Amy.
Good morning, Miss Amy.
I just have one item for you today.
If I may, Mr. Chair, land services.
Ah, what is that, right? So yes, we are officially land services as of today. So we are no longer siloed into assessor and planning and zoning anymore. We are land services, so, yeah.
And Mr. Chair, you have charged Ms. Kowalczyk with trying to make that as seamless as possible and continue to work with staff to make adjustments and really focus on the customer and what is best for our customer and serving them, so. Good
So
luck.
we're-
Thank you.
Yeah,
With that,
thank you.
And we did that with trying to cut costs too.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
I mean, that was one of our other things that we were looking at, so.
Better servicing, cutting costs, that's what we like to do when we can.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
So the first land services item I have for you for this new year. Ooh, are you ready? I'm bringing forward consideration of the conditional use permit application for Charles and Cindy Bry. This was heard at the Planning Commission at their last meeting. And I'll let you know the applicant is here today as well. This was recommended for approval with 5 conditions. I'll read those. Condition 1, must maintain a current certificate of septic system compliance on file with the Planning and Zoning Office that includes the pumping of the septic tanks. The empty tanks must be inspected for water tightness, including but not limited to sampling of soil surrounding the tanks, checks of the tank seals and gaskets, and a check for tank cracks. 2, boat launching shall occur at the public accesses. 3, resort owner shall provide educational material on aquatic invasive species and the invasive species infestations in Fish Trap Lake. 4, the land use permits must be obtained prior to construction of decks or other structures within the resort. And 5, the property owner shall request a resort shoreline vegetation and stormwater evaluation by the Soil and Water Conservation District. The property owner shall implement and maintain the shoreline vegetation and improvement plan and stormwater plan provided by the SWCD by November 30th, 2017.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to,
Mr. Chair, I would so move on that. I know, and I was up there for the viewing also, and they run a nice, nice cute little resort. It looks like they do a good job, so.
can I get a second for that?
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? You know, the one thing I liked about this here was the fact that they told us a lot of things that they wanted to do. And I appreciate the fact that when people, a lot of times people will come in and do this, but they don't tell you what their long-term plans are, and sometimes their long-term plans won't fit into what they can do. So it's nice when they bring it up front, so a guy can talk about all the things that they'll be able to do and not be able to do, so they can make a better decision. So thank you, Amy.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I think the development review team meeting helps with that too, because we are able to have that sit down with the applicant prior, so we can kind of discuss all of those things with them prior to applying, so we can get them pointed in the right directions.
Thank you. Okay,
Mr. Chair, I just have one question. I believe I know the answer to this. However,
Yes.
the septic issue that
Yes.
we have, number one, how do you know this gets done? I
Because,
believe I know the answer, but if you can tell me,
Sure.
just refresh my memory.
so by law, if you get a septic system inspection, within 15 days of that inspection, whomever was hired to do that must submit that inspection to the county. So state law takes care of that submission, so we always are provided a copy of that and keep that on file.
So with that being said, does somebody come and inspect the septic system once a year? Once every 2 years, once every 5 years, once every 25 years? And then do they get back to you saying that it doesn't leak?
Sure.
I don't know the answer
So,
to that.
the condition is that they keep a current certificate of compliance.
But what's
Certificate of
current?
compliance are valid for 3 years. So
Okay,
every
great.
3
That
years,
took
they
care
need
of
to be on a rotation.
Very good.
Which is also in line with the state requirement that you assess your system every 3 years by either pumping or looking at it. So that's very much in line with that.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Amy, and that's only because it's a resort, right, or a business?
Well, so the current certificate of compliance, it, usually when we see campgrounds, resorts, things like that, we have the potential for changes for construction. In the shoreland area, any land use permit that we grant requires that you have a current certificate of compliance. So in times when we have a lot of in and out and construction, having resorts on that 3-year rotation where they just maintain that current certificate of compliance really helps so it doesn't slow down the permitting process when you have somebody coming in that's maybe put a new camper on and they want to put their deck, but we need that current certificate of compliance. If the resort owner just keeps that current, we're able to permit those much quicker.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, that's all I have for
You
you.
know, I got a question, Mr. Chair, for Amy. The development review team, the
Yes.
meeting you have there, you did that now for what, about 2 years? Not quite?
Yeah, gosh, time flies,
It-
almost.
You know, I think we've talked before, how many, if people come in and they have plans, how many times do they change it? I mean,
Often.
after they, okay.
Yes,
I
often.
mean, a third of the time or a
I would
quarter of the
say
time?
probably a quarter of the time we have people that just choose not to go forward with their
Okay.
request because they have a clearer idea
Sure.
of what the process is, what the likelihood of it being granted is.
Right.
And so then we're working with them on something that doesn't require a public hearing.
To do some changes?
Right,
Okay.
right. And
Okay.
then I would say another quarter change their plan in some way based
Okay.
on the feedback that we
Oh,
give
no,
them.
and I think
So
that was really good when that started.
it
you know,
helps
because-
us put together a much better staff report as
For
well.
instance,
so.
I would have people in my district that would call me and, go in for a variance, and then they'd call and ask questions about it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
That-
usually not the time
I
to
know,
be
you're right.
recapping that. We want to
Yep.
be on the front end
Yep,
of that if
yep.
we can.
So I think that's good, and you do a good job. at it.
And Mr. Chair, and again, the point is that people don't have to maybe waste some money because they might not have a
Right.
plan. And you guys, as the
Yep.
land services report, give them, you don't tell them it's not gonna pass or not, but you give them suggestions.
But we
and
can
it-
help them shake out what makes a good
Exactly.
application, so,
Ideas,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's good.
I really like that
Thank you.
because there's enough of them that fail even after they've gone through that process.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that, I question that sometimes, but that just must be them thinking, well, let's try it and see what happens, because you never do
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
you never know what's gonna happen.
We can certainly give them our feedback, but what they decide to put forward
Yep.
is completely up to them.
Right. Okay,
Good.
thank you. Amy.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Amy.
you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay, auditors report, is that Steve?
Yeah, I think there is a report, I was just here to answer his questions on warrants, I didn't see anything in the packet that.
No, there aren't any
Yep.
action items. I can't talk here.
Okay.
But the board warrants, there was a list provided on Friday, and then there were 3 more invoices that came in
Yeah.
last minute to include in
Thanks for your
that's-
quick report.
that. And that's
Yeah.
a roll call vote, Mr.
Keep
Chair.
it on schedule.
Okay,
I would so move on the warrants, Mr. Chair.
okay, we got a
Second.
motion, and second it, any other discussion? If not, all in favor signify by
Roll-
saying.
it's a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call, we got Mr. Lemire,
Yes.
Mr. Wincher.
Aye.
Mr. Jelinski.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
and aye. Okay, administrators report, did you do your whole thing?
Well, I did all of the annual resolutions,
But
at
maybe you have
this-
something else.
I always have something to say. Welcome again, Commissioner Lemire. It's nice to see you on board, and if you have any questions, you know where to find us, and I believe we have set up, as we have with every commissioner that started committee or meetings with different departments, so you can get to know them, and they're anxious to get to know you and get you up to speed on what we're working on and what we're doing. So welcome,
Thank you.
and congratulations to all 3 of you on
Thank you.
Thanks,
the
Dave.
office, and it's always a pleasure to start a new year and new exciting challenges coming on board. Other than that, I don't know of anything that's coming up. I'll be out of the office for a little bit. You know how to find me, though, if you need to.
What was that cell phone number?
Well, you have it. I know you have it.
I think
So,
he wants it read out loud.
anyway, it's on my business card, Randy, so they'll find me if they need to. Other than schedules, I think,
Okay, we need to go through our schedules now.
or the dates.
Is it from the 9th through the 20th, 21st?
On the backside, it's through the 28th. We have a board meeting on the 24th, so we need to go all the way through.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, the dates are kind of funky with this first of the year here. So we have a couple of weeks that have planning sessions right now scheduled. If for some reason those are not filled with items, we'll let you know, Tabitha will let you know regarding that, whether it's held or canceled.
Otherwise, we leave them on our schedule right now.
Leave them on your schedule for now. She'll let you know
Okay.
the Friday prior by then. And if I could give you a quick update, Ron Wrinkle called and wanted to let you know, I think he said he forgot to officially invite you, but the Midwest Dairy Association annual meeting and lunch is tomorrow. If anybody can make it at 11 o'clock at the ballroom.
It's 11?
Yeah.
11.
I think
That's
dinner's
when-
at 11:30.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what he told me, just
Yep.
wanted to let you know that
Yeah,
that
put down
is
11 then, yep.
coming up. What was the other thing we needed to remind? Oh, there's a visit for Hubbard County for office visit, looking at some sites. You're all invited if you choose to come on the 13th. I think there was an email that went out for that. What was the other thing? Oh, I know, the landfill meeting on Friday is going to be at Public Works
What's that?
instead of at the landfill.
Okay.
So make note of that.
This Friday.
This Friday morning at 8:30 at Public Works instead of the landfill. That's a change. Jeff Meyer is out, so Steve said it'd probably be a quick meeting, but
Okay. Perfect.
8:30
8:30.
over at Public Works building. Normally they're at the landfill.
Okay,
Right.
Mr.
Sorry,
Johnson, would
that's
you
mine.
like to go through yours?
Sure. On the 9th, I've got Yellow Ribbon, and this time it is at Thunder Lodge by South Along Prairie. It's at 5:30 PM. On the 10th, we have planning at 8:30. That's all I have for next week. The week of the 15th, 17th, we got planning session at 8:30. I would have on Friday, Mississippi Headwaters Board in Walker at 9 o'clock on the 20th. Then the 23rd, we've got planning and zoning at 7 PM. That should be right, isn't it?
Yep.
The 4th, yep, okay. And then we got board on the 24th. On the 25th, I got Region 5 at 6 o'clock at Joint Powers in Staples. That is all I got, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Jelinski.
Starting on the 9th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I've got a Parks and Trails meeting, and that is at Public Works. Commission Planning, and the 13th, I should say, besides everything that Commissioner Johnson said. On the 13th at 10 o'clock, there's an Armor meeting, a RAC meeting, and I think it's in Sherburne County. I don't know if there's enough that's gonna require my attendance for that. On the 18th, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a Hands of Hope meeting, and that's in meeting room 3. On the 19th, at 10 o'clock in the morning, there should be an Armor Owners and Operators Committee meeting. That's in Douglas County. On the 23rd, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a Stand Up For You meeting, and that's at the middle school. However, I don't think I can attend that because at 5:30, there's an extension meeting here at the Government Center. That's one of my committees. And I think Dwayne said that at 7 o'clock, there's a Planning Commission meeting that night. On the 25th, 10 o'clock in the morning, the Emergency Services Board Executive Committee meets. And then at 1 o'clock, it's the first meeting of the Joint Powers Board of the Emergency Services Board, and both of those are at the city of St. Cloud. On the 27th, 10 o'clock in the morning, there's the first meeting of the year, EMS Joint Powers Board, and that's at the Stearns County Service Center. And Mr. Chair, that's all I have for me.
Thank you, Mr. Jelinski. Mr. Wincher.
On Wednesday, the 18th, I have a library at 5 PM. And on the 19th, TCC, I meet as treasurer on, at 4 PM. And the other days, that's all, I'm all covered.
Okay, Mr. Lemire.
I really don't know what I got.
And Mr. Chair, to be fair to Commissioner Lemire, I don't know that we've done a very good job
There's a-
explaining this yet.
Thursday the 19th, I got TCC,
Okay,
Plan Commission on the 24th,
23rd.
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 23rd, it's a Monday evening
That was my mistake.
at 7 PM.
That's
Oh,
here.
Commissioner Winchell,
Okay.
we
That was
better
me.
verify
Hey,
that.
I'm
Ooh,
taking
somebody
it,
moved
I'm
that.
taking it.
I
He did that.
No question about it, he did it on
I bet
purpose.
I did.
We're giving them bad information, we expect them to be
I'll
right.
tell you the rest of
We'll
my,
verify later.
yeah,
you'll know who you can trust someday, Mike.
yeah, or not.
Okay, I guess on mine, what everybody else has said, except there's a trails meeting, I think, on Monday, and there's somebody else that's going
It's
with.
at 4 o'clock in the
Okay,
afternoon.
and you mentioned that, I presume.
Yes, I did.
I guess I'm covered, except I'm not exactly sure when the airport, the new ones that I just got today. So I need to figure out.
Good
what
question, we'll do some
what day
research and
they're
find
on,
that for you and get some
and
of
put
that
them on that
information as
schedule.
Mitch.
I'd say that with all of us to make
Yeah,
sure we've got all
yeah.
the new committees.
And Mr. Chair, just to give Commissioner Lemire an update here, we use this process to help develop our advertisement list for open and public meetings that we have for what you're attending. We're hoping to develop a system that utilizes the calendaring with, if you utilize that, so we're working on trying to get some technology that can feed from what you do in your devices to a central calendar to kind of help
Yep.
centralize that, so the more that everybody uses their electronic calendars, the more we can maybe streamline some of this, but that'll come as we are developing that centralized calendar approach and getting some training out there for some of that stuff. But that's the point of all of this.
Thank
And if you
very-
may, Mr. Chair, Mike, you're gonna be the board on the airport, right?
Yes,
So that would be I'm alternate, so it's the 19th at noon.
19th at noon.
Thank you.
airport.
Is that correct, Mr.?
Yes, it's current, but listen, sometimes they'll cancel their meetings if there's not much on agenda, so, but
So
otherwise.
it's the
that's-
third Thursday.
Yep, third Thursday.
Okay, and you notify all these.
Yep, we will be
places.
updating, and Tabitha will actually spend some time updating the agencies or the different groups of the new appointments. And that'll be on the to-do list here this week and get that out to everybody. And we'll probably shoot you an email just with that final list to make sure we recapped everything. I think
I
we
would
had
like
it, but
Yeah,
maybe
that'd be
do that for verification purposes before it's in the minutes for the next meeting. And one thing, when we conclude here, if you wouldn't mind, we'll take a new board photo.
Oh, I would like
If
that.
that would be okay.
I would like that.
So,
We can shoot these down this way?
again, once we get the electronic process, this might help some of this, but we'll get there.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
I would so move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Jelinski. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Perfect, all right, if you wouldn't mind sticking around.
Tabitha, too, when he's always pressing his, you did mine too, where it doesn't go
Oh,
off
yeah.
the screen, so she'll fix it.
Yeah, I can find it.
If I can find it too, though. I don't wanna tell you.